I would like to thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. Thank you to Jared for putting this all together. Thank you for the directors of this camp. It's an amazing work. How can God use me? When we look in our Bibles, we see so many examples of people who are called on by God. They're called on to be tools to deliver their people out of temptations, out of trials, out of bondage. We think of David and Goliath. David as a young shepherd boy, no fighting experience, taking food to his brothers, finds out that the number one soldier in the Philistine army is challenging God's people. Every other single man in that army were scared to fight him. David, as a young boy, stepped up, through his faith in God, killed Goliath. Think of Moses. Although his faith wavered at some times, God called upon him at old age, other end of the spectrum. Moses had no experience leading. God called on him. Moses answered the call. He took action. He delivered his people out of bondage to Egypt. These are two great examples of people who were in the right place at the right time. They were given an opportunity, and they took advantage of it. Let's focus on Esther, though, tonight. If you'd like, please turn to Esther 4:14 in your Bibles. Esther 4:14. Some background on Esther. She's a young Jewish woman. Her parents died while she at a very young age. Her cousin Mordecai took her in and raised her. So, at this time, near chapter 4 of Esther, the king of Medo-Persia, King Ahasuerus, had just put away his queen. She had defied him. She was right in doing so. He was asking for something that he should not have been. But he was looking now for a new queen. The thing is, though, he's looking for physical looks. He's not looking for a scholar. He's not looking for someone who can talk to him. He's looking for looks. We see Esther. She's young and she's beautiful. She has no other experience in leading or anything. Let's read Esther 4:14. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom at such a time as this? Mordecai is talking to Esther here. What had happened was Haman, the king's right hand, had been defied by Mordecai. Haman was angry because Mordecai didn't bow to him. Haman went to King Ahasuerus and deceived him. Caused him to sign a decree saying that in the 12th month, on the 13th day, all the Jews will be killed. Mordecai here is saying, yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom at such a time as this? When he's talking to Esther here, he's saying, who knows if God has put you in this specific position as queen so that you can save your people? Esther recognizes this, and she instantly acts. This is where a lot of us fail today. We see these opportunities that are put before us, and we don't do anything about it. We let them fly by. And then at night when we're about to go to bed, we realize, I could have just saved a soul. Esther goes into action. The first thing she has to do is approach the king's court. The problem with approaching the king's court is, at this time, the law was, if you were not called to the king's court and you approached, you were to be killed. Unless, if we look back a few verses, as it says, unless the king holds out his golden scepter to you, which saves you. Esther, at this point, had not been called to the king's court for 30 days. She had to go talk to the king. She had no idea if she was going to live or she was going to die at this very moment. But what did she do? She believed in God that He would deliver her. She went to the king and she lived. We see whenever she goes to the king, she invites him and Haman to a banquet. At this first banquet, she invites them both to another one. Then at the second banquet, she's talking to King Ahasuerus and says, and reveals to him the deception of Haman. Haman is then taken and hanged on gallows, which he had for Mordecai. And now Esther had almost completed her plan. Now all she needed to do was write a decree allowing the Jews to protect themselves. She writes the decree. It's signed by the king and stamped. So when that day came, on the 12th month, 13th day, the Jewish people were able to defend themselves and they were saved. So, how did God use Esther? Esther was a tool for God so that His people could continue on. Esther had no experience in leading. All she had was faith, just like David, just like Moses. It was all in their faith that they gave their lives, they put their lives in danger, walked the line between life and death, and saved their people. But us today, we're scared of talking to people next to us. We're scared of talking to our classmates, to our teammates about God. Why? These people are putting their lives on the line, and we're scared of uncomfortable conversations. We are tools for God. God called us to save. Look at the Great Commission, Matthew 28:19. Go ye therefore into all the world, preaching and teaching. God called us to teach. We don't all have to be missionaries. We don't all have to go into foreign fields. We need to start here and now. Look at the person beside you. Start with them. Talk to them. Look at your teammates. Look at your classmates. Look at your best friends. If you think about yesterday, Griffin described hell. He talked about how the flood, it was horrible. It destroyed the entire world. And hell is 10 times worse. Amen. Why would we want people who we love to go there? Why? We need to start taking action, just as Esther did, just as David did, just as Moses did. How can God use me? God can use me as a tool to make heaven crowded. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. And the thing is, circumstances don't matter. We read in 1 Timothy 4:12, let no man despise thy youth. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter from where you come. It doesn't matter who you are. You can make a difference in someone's life. You can send someone's soul to heaven. It all starts with us. It's here and now. Here and now. Thank you.